As COVID cases soar across this country, thousands of Aussies are being forced into isolation, unable to work. So what are your rights as an employee if you catch COVID-19? And what if you catch it doing your job? We asked you to send us your questions, and here to answer them all is Union's New South Wales Assistant Secretary Thomas Costa. Thanks for your time, Thomas. Okay, the first one, Annie wants to know if she contracts COVID at work, is she entitled to receive income support?
Yes, well, she is entitled to income support, but what type of support will depend on her type of employment. So if Annie is a full-time or part-time employee, obviously she has access to paid sick leave. But lots of workers out there don't have access to paid sick leave, and so they'll have to look into other types of support. And that can include federal government payments, state government payments, but also our workers' compensation system. And we're really advising workers who think that they got COVID at work to speak with their medical practitioner about putting in an application for workers' compensation.
Yeah, so if you get paid sick leave, you can't get the $750, can you, from the government?
No, you can't double dip.
Yeah. Now, Oliver writes, I'm a casual. What are my rights?
Unfortunately, casual employment's becoming really common in Australia, especially amongst younger workers, and casual workers don't have access to paid sick leave or any other annual leave or other types of leave entitlements, but they do have the right to take sick leave. And so we'd urge those employers that if you have workers who are casuals, who do catch COVID, you don't have to give them paid sick leave, but ensure that you do give them sick leave, and if you can afford it, give them some paid sick leave as well. Okay,
and then they can apply for those supplements from the government as well. Adam says, I contracted COVID while I was actually on annual leave. Can I convert this to sick leave now?
Yeah, this is a really common question that we've been getting over the holiday period, and the answer is quite simple. Yes, you can. If you get sick or you're injured while you're on annual leave, you do have the right to convert that to sick leave. You have to follow the same process you would as when you're at work. So if you've got to provide a medical certificate, you still need to do that, and you've still got to let your employer know straight away.
Or a positive PCR. What if you were a close contact and you had to not work?
And had to isolate.
Yeah.
Well, again, if you have access to that isolation leave, paid pandemic leave or so forth, you can have it converted as well.
Right. Okay, Brenda has asked, can an aged care employer force you back to work early even if an outbreak is present?
Brenda's question is very concerning. You do have the right to a safe workplace in Australia, and if your employer can't guarantee you a safe workplace, you really need to be raising that with your health and safety representative at work. If you don't have a HSR at work, we really advise you to contact the safety regulator in your state. It's really concerning if you're being asked to go to work unsafe. Another thing you can do is ask your employer for a copy of their risk assessment, and if you're to be provided with protective personal equipment, that needs to be provided to you free of charge.
Okay, similar one. Billy says, what happens if my employer pressures me to leave isolation early?
Again, there's very strong offences for people breaching isolation when they're testing positive or if they're a close contact, and that also, those penalties apply also to employers that are pressuring you to breach those.
Last one, Sam wants to know what rights employers have to request evidence from you.
You do have the right as an employer to request evidence as long as it's reasonable, so that could be as simple as just a copy of the PCR test or a medical certificate.
Okay, thank you very much. Really interesting questions. Here's Koshi.